Hello everyone, good evening, and welcome to I guess I'll call this a special stream today. I wasn't actually planning on streaming today, but a little backstory, I guess, on how we got here. So, episode 38, or tomorrow's interactions video, has not been recorded yet. I was planning on recording that today, right about now. And I had this idea, why don't I stream the process of recording it? Because then I get to both stream and record. Big brain ideas. I'm the smartest person ever. So here we are. Let's dive in. Step one. I've had my client open for too long and I have to re-log in, so you do not get to see me log in. Step two, we log into the server. So what I'll be doing today is I'll be going through, I guess it's like combining a stream and a recording. While I'm recording, during the recording bits, I probably won't talk to chat. I want the video to feel as normal as possible. Obviously between segments though, you're here to entertain me, I'm here to entertain you, and we're gonna have a good time together, maybe, hopefully. Anyways, alright, well, let's get started. I'm going to start by recording the usual introduction, I guess. Next is 38, right? Yeah. I do this thing a lot where I start recording and then I realize I don't know the episode number I'm on. So I record hello, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode. And then I'm like, crap, what number is it? Rahul, you will find out based on how long this video takes. I expect about 3 hours. Might take a little less, might take a little more. It kind of varies depending on what I'm doing. Alright. Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 38 of FTB Interactions. This episode's slightly different from our usual episodes. I'm actually I'm streaming the process of recording this episode. So if you are watching this on YouTube now, you can check out the YouTube archives and there will be a stream archive of this being recorded. Of course, it'll be the same content, except you can see all the stuff I cut out, all the mistakes or whatever I don't show on camera, all the steps I skip. Anyways, diving in, today I want to put this Mark II nuclear or fusion reactor to use. So when I built this reactor, I was initially planning on producing Neutronium with it, specifically GregTech Neutronium. I've since discovered that the GregTech Neutronium isn't actually very useful. You need it for a few things. Let's see. You need Neutronium plates for some UV machines. It's here somewhere, trust me. Yeah, so some UV machines use Neutronium. However, the actual useful Neutronium is the Avariccia one. And you don't actually turn GregTech Neutronium into Avariccia Neutronium. There's an entirely different process of making Avariccia Neutronium, of dropping ender chickens into antimatter. So, yeah, we don't have to make a lot of Neutronium is my point. But we do need at least a couple ingots. So let's start by making Neutronium with this reactor. Afterwards, though, I'll repurpose it for Draconium, something we need a lot more of. Making Neutronium, then, requires a couple fluids. Let's see. So you need fluid Neutronium. Now, once you make one piece of Neutronium, you can turn, as I mentioned before, you can turn it into the dust, and you can replicate the dust, right, with just neutral matter. So really, we just need to make one Neutronium ingot. So it's Quadra, which we have for fuel, and Americium. This requires another fusion reactor, which is Lutetium and Chrome, and I believe this requires yet another fusion reactor, which is Silicon and Lanthanum. And let's check. Let me check if I have Lanthanum. Lanthanum. I don't know where I got the I from. So there, I just recorded a segment, and what I'll do when I edit is I'll just paste that segment before the next segment. I do not have Lanthanum by the looks of things. So how do I get this? Herm. I can, there we go. Centrifuging rare earths. Okay. I figured it out. Centrifuging rare earths has a small chance, medium chance, whatever, to get lanthanum dust, a small pile of it. And once I believe I only need one dust piece. I can turn one dust piece into, right, it's 1-to-1, yeah. So let's centrifuge some rare earths really quickly. Do I not have a better, oh, I have an EV centrifuge, that'll do. And I have 10,000 rare earths. It's been so long since I played. Which light is EV? Indarium is EV, right? So what I'll record the whole thing. Well, okay. I'll have a recording running of the whole thing, but then I'll specifically record subsections of it. That way I can, it's easier to edit, because I hate editing. I abhor video editing. So I basically just don't. What PC specs am I running? Look there. That's fast. What was the other thing I needed? Silicon? Sure, I'll take a silicon ingot and some of this. Does this need a blast furnace? It does. Alright, I have 1,000 different blast furnaces sitting around. Hey, you. Blast furnace, please. Yeah, the recording I'm making of this will be put onto YouTube tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, usual time. I've worked for what are these? These two are inputs. Alright. I need 2 reservoirs. The silicon ingot. And our lanthanum ingot. Where's my fluid extractor? Here. And have I plugged this reactor in yet? I have not. Alright, let's plan on doing that. What tier is this? ZPM? I can... How much energy does this take? It is a 1 amp... Or it's a 2 amp ZPM recipe. And this is a 2... Okay. So I'm going to do something kind of weird here. I'm going to... Well, here, I'll just explain when I record. I do need ZPM cables. Oh, wait. These are LUV output. Hold on. LUV is 32,000 EU a tick, right? ZPM is 128? Yeah. I'm just going to plug the LUV into the ZPM, and it's going to be fine. I made and melted down 1 ingot each of lanthanum, screw the pronunciation, whatever, and silicon. So that'll make us 1 ingot of lutetium. Now I still have to power this reactor, and this reactor has ZPM input hatches, which means it expects ZPM tier energy. However, I can actually just plug it directly into this, which these are LUV tier energy outputs. It'll be of a lower tier, but you are allowed to supply lower tier energy to higher tier machines. Normally, that'll result in the machine being very unhappy as it's low on energy. However, you can't actually overclock fusion reactors, so there's nothing wrong with providing it with the lower tier energy. Hey, could you? Whoa, there's a lot of them. These guys keep bugging me. All right, whatever. Now that this is powered, we can fuel it. So put 1 fuel into each, and we're off. coming out the output hatch should be Neutronium, and 1 ingot of that. Alright, I have to turn that into an ingot. Let's mass fab. Let's get a mass fabricator for every step of this cycle, or rather, replicator. So I'll replicator the Lutetium, even if I don't need to. No, the mobs aren't spawning. The mobs are spawning from, so see, I have peace candles here. However, the peace candles that are way out here don't actually work unless I go, like, right-click them. And, what is it, Shift-E to open this inventory? Like, they're in claimed and loaded chunks, but you see how they're off? They don't actually work until I fly close enough to them and, like turn them on. At least I think that's the case. So it's kind of annoying that they turn off whenever I restart my server. So, yeah, I have to come and like, hey, peace candle, wake up. And I kind of just can't be bothered. I just accept that mobs are going to fly over and smack me from time to time. Yeah, Lucerna Ritual would help, but again, I have to actually make the Lucerna Ritual to do so. So, meh. Alright, I need replicator. Is this Ivy? It is. Okay, cool. I already have an Ivy replicator. Let's make 4 more. The thing is, it's not like the mobs ignore light level, right? So lighting things up doesn't matter. Let's see. As I said, I have to turn this fluid into ingots. Where's my fluid solidifier? I've been using this LV fluid solidifier the whole game for manual work. It's a beast of a machine. And then pulverizer. I also have an LV pulverizer I've been using a bunch. Although I also use this MV pulverizer a lot too. Alright, so I have that, and I need a replicator. Aren't my replicators done yet? It's working on it, whatever. This is Ivy, right? Stellar alloy. Don't blow it? Cool. Fluids. Go like this. Is it unbrown? Yeah. Alright, that's this. Can I just smelt this? Or no, you also need a blast furnace. What a pain. Alright, next is Americium. Lutetium and chrome. I think the machine itself still blows up. Like, it at least goes away. It doesn't cause damage. Smelt this for me, please. Smelt this for me faster, please. I could check for Horologium, but I'm not going to bother. At this point, I'm probably not going to discover it before I finish the pack. And if I do have to discover it, I'll use the time skipper, the whatever this thing to find it. You know, go to the next day. Hum 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 hum. Here, let's just test the machine explosion thing. I'm sure I can find I have a LV machine here we don't mind sacrificing for science. Sorry, basic fluid solidifier, your time has come. I confirm it does explode. I'm not even going to bother hooking a storage bus up to this replicator. If I need Neutronium, I'll come get it by hand. Anyways, I melted down another ingot of that and one of chrome so we can run the next step in this cycle. And it's off. This produces americium. I think this is actually used in some other recipes, if I recall. Let's see, plates. Yeah, well, wait, I must have already made... Oh no, this is for a tier 3 fusion reactor, never mind. I don't know. Maybe it's useful. Maybe it's useful, maybe not. I'm gonna... Once I get an ingot of it, I'm gonna do the same thing. Turn it into a dust, make a replicator of it, and process that through to go to Neutronium. One more batch. There we go, one ingot. Americium, go. Oh. You can't shift click that in, apparently. Lag. I think this stuff is... I'm thinking if I want just one ingot of it or a box of it. I think I want a full box of this stuff. Because if I do have to make a tier 3 fusion reactor, I'm going to need a lot of it. You working? Yeah, you're at it, huh? Takes a little while. That's fine. What's my PC build? Here, I'll show it again very quickly. You can see it up in the upper right. I guess I can't open an inventory for it so you can see it. It's I mean, it was a very good PC when I built it, but it's not so much anymore. I do need a new computer soon. Oopsies, auto output. There we go. Got a storage bus. Does this also need a blast furnace? No, this can be cooked directly. Nice. Let's cook one more of these. And what's the other fluid for Neutronium? The Quadra. Actually, it's not. This one isn't 1-to-1, is it? It's 1-to-8, so I need 8 ingots. And what's 8 times 144? About 2 buckets. Give me 2 buckets. And let's grab 2 buckets in the Quadra. I'm surprised this tank isn't full. What happened? Quadra dust? Is it just slow to smelt? Oh, you are making a Quadra, right? Okay, I guess it's just painfully slow to smelt. Acceptable problem. Alright, so I have 2 buckets of this, and I need 8 americium. Hey, hurry up, would ya? I love the time in a bottle. Oh, it is so good. Yeah, I could just put another energy input bus. Honestly, what I should do is I should just disconnect this, because I don't need these generators anymore. They're consuming fuel, not coming up with anything, not producing anything useful. Like I'm wasting 99% of the energy my base is generating anyways. Fluid extractor. Because Americium is used in a couple places, I want to just have a full chest of it available. This dust can be smelted into ingots trivially, so I'll smelt it as needed, if needed. Alright, so I melted down 8 ingots of that stuff, and I have 2 buckets of Quadra, and this should be the last step in making Neutronium. It, unlike the previous steps, which were 1-to-1, like Americium here, right? It's 1-to-1. Basically, one ingot of each input produces 1 ingot of output. For Neutronium, it's 8-to-1 or 16-to-2. Anyways, this one might take it a little while. I think I can overclock it. I'm providing it with, actually, there's a fusion? No, it is overclocking, right? But it's going to need to run a little bit because we have to get to 144 millibuckets of Neutronium. So let's leave this here while I plan out how I'm going to make Draconium. Draconium is also a fusion reactor recipe. Let's see, we need Draconium fluid. In fact, let's unpin some of this stuff. Get rid of that. All right, we need Draconium fluid to make Draconium ingots, and that is red matter and osmiridium. Osmiridium is pretty easy because I've already made osmiridium. Here is 100 or 1.7 thousand ingots of it. Pretty good. I think it's, what's the ratio? So it's 1 ingot of osmiridium makes 2 ingots of draconium. Beautiful. Red matter, on the other hand, is a bit trickier. We get the easy way of making red matter once we have infinity eggs. However, that's a ways off. So we have to make red matter balls, which can be melted in a blast furnace to make red matter fluid. This, then we need black or dark matter balls and void metal ingots, and a bunch of life essence. Diving a little deeper, dark matter needs empowered void crystals, vanadium, which I already have, and primal mana. Let's start with the primal mana because that should be easy. And I know that Great-Tech Neutronium is different from Avarician Neutronium. There might be need for a little bit of Great-Tech Neutronium, and I already built the nuclear reactor for it, or the fusion reactor for it, so I figured let's just build one. Alright, so primal mana is this recipe. Mana dust, Venetium dust, and deuterium. I have a bunch of deuterium from something. Centrifuging eggs, right? Yeah, centrifuging primal enriched eggs. So I just see mana dust. Wait. Am I missing something here? Oh, primal mana is not unstable mana. Okay. I do need to process Vintium. How can I get Vintium dust? And process the ore? Does the ore densify? It does. And then I can just crush it, right? I don't care for any byproduct. Okay. So that's a plan for the Vintium dust. Mana dust? The mana dust is what needs unstable mana. I was about to say, I'm pretty sure unstable mana is somewhere in this process. Can you guys? No, you guys can hear me right now, right? I don't mute my mic when I talk. When I record, I use push to talk, so that you don't hear me like when I cough or anything, or like when I'm thinking. This one's going to be a little bit trickier. I can make flawless coal from regular coal, right? How much coal do I have? I'm going to have to process a bunch of coal too. Shoot. All right, let's start with unstable mana then. Sometimes I lose track of where, like, what the last bit I recorded was, so I have to pull up the recording and see where I left off. But that's what the recording's for. Because Americium is used in a couple places and a bunch of life essence. Diving a little deeper, dark matter needs empowered void crystals, vanadium, which I already have, and primal mana. Let's start with the primal. Cool. Okay. I was just watching my own recording to, refresh myself. We're gonna go one more step into the rabbit hole for the production of primal mana here, and that is mana dust. That takes unstable mana plus the 4 dusts that come out of one of our chickens. So these 4 items are free. And I do have a unstable mana system right here, except it is stupid slow. So we're going to have to be significantly more efficient than this. This process is also bottlenecked by the fact that I'm manually supplying it with ethanol. And I'm giving it mana from these chickens, which is much slower than our much faster mana production system that directly converts Botania mana into wizardry mana. So let's start by rebuilding the unstable mana to not be bad. I'm not going to upgrade to UV ore processing. That is way too much work. All right, to make this not bad, I need to automate simple power catalysts. That's Mixer, Life Essence, Netherwort, Redstone, Gel Toluene. Sure. What tier to do this at? How long does this take? 30 seconds at HV, but it makes 10. Let's do it at IV. And forward the inputs again. Netherwort, Redstone, Gel Toluene. I have a lot of toluene now. I guess that's what happens when you build a toluene making system. Limited item filter, ME interfaced, and mixer's done. All right, IV. Don't really have room for IV machines. I could extend this a little bit, I guess. How many channels am I using here? No, I have this. This will do, whatever. What is this mixer? That's Liquid Nightmares. Which side? I guess I'll put you here. Acceleration card. Thank you for the super chat again, Storyboard. Because of your videos, you made me try again playing with Greg Tech, and I'm really enjoying it at the moment. This pack is exceptionally good. It is up there with Omni Factory for in terms of quality. So I'm sure you will enjoy it. Do I have cable anchors? Yes, I do. All right, so that provides the fluid. And then this will provide the items. Hide on terminal. And thank you, Viral, for the super chat and the pack. You've improved so much since I started watching your Omni Factory series, And I guess hearing nice words about interactions always helps. Well, when you put in good work, you get a good result out. Okay, so that's the simple power catalyst. Let's let it run a couple times just to make sure. Yeah, it looks like we're good. How many of these do I want? Let's just store them in a basic cache. How many does that hold? 20,000? Is that too many? It uses up redstone at a 1-to-1 ratio? That's 20,000 redstone, whatever. I'll cache 20,000 redstone. Alright, this is gonna go through all of my life essence. In fact, it probably already has gone through all of my life essence, huh? Let's check. Indeed it has. Alright, well, Ultra upgrades will be once again in our near future. Alright, then that's a simple power catalyst. This step next requires ethanol, so we need a mixer, and this is what? A distillery, and I think biomass is the easiest one here. How do I make wood vinegar? I could go charcoal byproducts. This comes from sludge, which comes from the egg. The alternative is biomass, which comes from plant balls and water. But I think that might take long. Oh, screw it. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to need a brewery, because I'm going to go with the plant balls just because I don't have the chicken yet and I can't be bothered to make it right now. Alright, so let's pin this process here. And this is just in a brewery. Ivy? It really doesn't matter. The annoying thing about inserting recipes is you have to replace the processor here. It's like, it's not strictly wrong to leave that in, but I'd rather it use the crystal processor than the upcraft to the quantum assembly. You can only have one digital mob agonizer per blood altar. And my problem isn't that I'm not generating enough blood, it's actually that I'm not transporting blood out of the altar fast enough. Let's see, so that makes biomass. To make biomass into ethanol, I need a distillery. Apparently I don't have an IV1 encoded yet. Correct, I need displacement and I think it's acceleration are the two. But that's kind of off the top of my head here. Alright, that's a distillery to make it into ethanol, and then I need a mixer. Honestly, I was kind of hoping I could go the whole pack without having to make the Botania Blood Altar, but I think I'm going to have to make the Botania Blood Altar. Circuits above a certain tier don't have a cheap recipe. The highest tier circuit that has a cheap recipe is the Quantum one, which is EV. Any higher than that and there is no cheap recipe. Alright, is this done? Brewery's done. Distillery's done. And mixer's done. Perfect. All of my like machine frame, like my electric pump, I just use this recipe, or whichever one uses rubber rings. Yeah, I use this recipe instead of sending it to an assembler. Because if you send it to an assembler, you have to like melt your tungsten steel, which is like whatever. I can't be bothered. And even just simple recipes like the machine, the casing here, I actually just craft it with the wrench still, because there's no meaningful advantage of crafting it without using the wrench, I guess is how I would put it. So, all right, let's set up this processing chain. Do I have a face free on my ME controller? This is a pack that I've already used all my ME controller faces, isn't it? I have one. I mean, I can use a couple of these underground faces. I can't use these faces because I need to expand my controller at some point. Unless I commit to never expanding my controller. Okay. I think we might be building controllers pretty soon, too. Because I'm about to run out of room. I mean, making more controllers is a thing that I have to actually do. I can't just get more ME controllers, you know? That's a brewery. We'll give you items. Go. Dang, you are slow. I hate these low energy recipes that overclock poorly. Alright, you distill into ethanol with program circuit 2. Am I wrong? Oh, wait, no. Biomass uses program circuit 0. Wrong recipe. Alright, good enough. And then ethanol needs a mixer to make unstable mana. So this also needs fluid mana, redstone, and simple power catalysts. Almost out of acceleration cards. Give me 100 more? Sure. That should do. I'm going to need an interface to provide items. I'm going to run out of faces on this machine. Oh well. How am I on channels? 27. I need one more channel here, so that'll be fine. That's... check the items again. Redstone, simple power catalyst. We're going to go through our redstone very quickly here. I like how this late in the game I'm still using steel drums too for like all of my fluid storage. How did I automate the clay production? Here, let me show you my clay really fast. I use Starlight to transmute sand. So it's over... Where is it? Right here. So I have a sand generator, a regular Astral Sorcery sand generator. Starlight transmutation turns it into clay, and then I just use SFM to pick up the clay. A Clayconia is also a reasonable option. The quest book has a quest that I have no clue where this quest actually is anymore. But there's a quest somewhere that tells you how to make clay. That clay thing, I think, is the one piece of SFM that I still have in the base. Partition? Yeah. I already forgot what I last recorded. We're gonna go one more step into wizardry mana. So let's start by rebuilding the. All right. This series of machines is essentially the same unstable mana producer, except it runs at IV and it has its own ethanol input. So plant balls plus water make ethanol. I know this is not very efficient. I can use honey or juice, or I guess it's only honey or juice, to get more output, but I don't know. It's like the effort of making honey or juice, like instead of putting effort into making honey or juice, I could just put a second brewing machine. Anyways, that makes biomass, that makes biomass, which gets distilled into ethanol, which gets mixed with the simple power catalysts and redstone to make unstable mana. I know there's a upcoming patch that will make this recipe yield far more unstable mana per craft. Right now it's 2 buckets. I think the next update will make it do 10, which is pretty nice. But hey, until it arrives, we make do with what we have. I also set up a system that automatically crafts these unstable power catalysts. So that's life essence, gel toluene, netherwort, and redstone in a mixer. It seems our life essence, though, is not really up to the task. Our problem isn't that we're not generating enough life essence. In fact, let's head over to our altar and take a quick look. I suspect the altar is full, which it is, but we're not actually transferring blood out of the altar fast enough. The limitation on transferring blood out of blood altars isn't the conduits that you use to connect, but it's actually how fast the altar will allow you to take resources out of it. So to make that go faster, we need more runes. Specifically, we need the 2 types are displacement and I already forgot the name of the other one. Acceleration. So displacement runes let you take out more blood per blood extraction operation. How are these made? That takes a runic altar. And acceleration runes let the blood extraction operation happen more often. Right now it happens once a second. With 19 acceleration runes, it happens once a tick, or 20 times faster. So I guess a runic altar is probably in our near future. Or rather, yeah, a runic altar to make blood altar upgrades. But I don't know, I'm lazy. We'll do that later. For you guys here, it might sound like I'm repeating things, but like right there, I was repeating it for the recording. Can I see the enchantment? Yeah, my Terra Shatter. It's here it is. Efficiency on breaking. That's it. Acceleration runes above the 19th one have no effect. There is a bloody chicken, isn't there? Oh, let's take a look at it. Bloody eggs, but these give 10 LP each. It is an 18. It's not worth it. We're gonna need so many roosts. We're gonna need so many roosts to make chickens at a high enough rate for this to be worth it, I think, right? Like, I want my blood to be about 1,000 a second. 1,000 a second means I need 100 eggs a second. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not say we did. Anyways, this makes our unstable mana. So with unstable mana, I can unmark all this. I really love JEI pins, by the way. Without JEI pins, I would go absolutely insane. Anyways, with that we can make mana dust. Actually, I almost wondered, do we make mana dust on demand or passively? Do I need this unstable mana for anything else? I need it in a blast furnace, but only for Terra Steel. Maybe we can just make... Nah, this is a fast recipe. We'll make it on demand. Alright, do I have a mixer with unstable mana? I have a blast furnace with unstable mana. Alright, I'm going to need another mixer then. Here, let's do this. I'm going to clearly need more room for IV machines, and I left this space here for it. The only reason I haven't used it yet is... Where's my IV cables? I have to set up another P2P port, or P2P connection here to get more channels. Do I have dense cables? I do. Oh, I guess that's all the conduit I have. 38 more. Can I make 100? Go. Alright. Last I checked, I had one face on my controller here I could slip this onto. That's still not in use. Aha! Yeah, I don't really want it to connect there. This is fine. So I can't... because I don't actually directly provide power to the controller, if I provide power into an energy acceptor, I can't cold boot the controller, right? Because the controller is powered by the subnet. So I actually need to provide enough energy directly into the controller that I'm allowed to cold boot it. Now what I could do is I could upgrade the Spectre coil. I have one good one, right? I have one good Spectre coil from a quest reward. I guess the good Spectre coils aren't even in JEI. And I could use that, so I only need one face of the controller for energy input. And by doing that, I could free up at least 2 more faces of the controller. And I'll probably do that when I need the next faces. Anyways, sync. Crafting controllers just takes time, and I would rather spend my time doing something else. Are you connected? Oh, wait, missing channel. Nope, device online. There we go. We're good. Alright, if I'm going to make this passively, though, I still need another mixer. Kind of low on space here. Want to leave enough room for a replicator. I want to leave enough room here for a replicator and a storage bus on the replicator. Because this is what will hold our Neutronium, which is done crafting, by the way. Yeah, the Ender Spectre coil, it doesn't have a crafting recipe though, so to get it I have to I have one that's not really doing anything, so I can it's sitting on my void ore miner right now. But I just have to, move it from there to here, but it'll do something useful. All right, I'll just put this mixer here then. So, actually, does mana dust do anything besides makes green hearts? I don't need green hearts. And it makes the primal chicken. I already have the primal chicken, right? Yeah. So then actually, I can just passively craft mana dust and use that to passively craft primal mana. If I have one dense cable and an energy acceptor on that, it still uses a face though. Right, at that point, I may as well just put the Ender Spectre coil directly on that one face. I don't think there's a way I can use no faces for cold booting my ME controller. The P2P interface, or the P2P tunnels, have IDs, so even if my network shuts down, they'll remember where they were connected to again. So I can break every single ME controller I have, put them back down, and this one will still remember that he's connected to the other one with this ID. Alright, all this answering questions has made me lose my train of thought for like the 70th time. I hate how you can't set applied energistics filters just directly from JEI. You have to actually have a bucket of the thing. Oh, true. I could. That dense cable could also hold a P2P. Could also hold a P2P interface. So I suppose you are right. It does not necessarily take a face to make the system cold bootable. That's the wrong interface. Let's get all the dust. Cryo, Petro, Aero, and what am I missing? Pyro. The performance difference between a export bus and an interface is trivial, as long as you are not putting a crafting card in either. The advantage of interface is that it doesn't need acceleration cards or the like it just automatically has the items. The downside is something else has to extract the items. Man, I've discovered my short-term memory is very bad when I'm switching between tasks. Where did I leave off on my recording again? This series of machines is essentially acceleration runes. It happens once a tick, or 20 times faster. And I already forgot. Let's head over to our altar and take a quick look. It seems our life essence, though, is not really up to the system that automatically crashed. Caught it. I in the 7th grade, I was diagnosed with ADHD. But no, I don't think this is ADHD. This is just forgetfulness. looking at the uses for unstable mana, at this point in the game, because we're probably not going to make a meaningful amount of Terra Steel anymore, there's really not much I need it for. Given that, then, like, I'm not going to use it for any of these recipes either. What I'll probably do is, what I've already set up is a system that will automatically take our unstable mana and turn it into mana dusts. So that's mana dust passively crafted and checked off the list. Now, mana dust is used to make primal mana. So that's a chemical reactor with vanadium dust and deuterium. I guess let's set up ore processing for vanadium really quick. I know it has how do I even spell it? Vintium. Anyways, it has these dense or exquisite forms, but as far as I can tell, we don't need them. I don't need a Vintium chicken, and I've already used it for everything else. So I'm just going to process this the simple way, and that is, apparently I do have a bunch of dense ore, but I'm not going to wash it, I'm not going to ore sift it, despite the fact that we can. Oh right, it's already dense. Well, my system automatically takes care of that if I plug in dense ores where it expects non-dense ores. What will I probably never process again? Sure, we'll swap that over. Thanks for the super chat again, Storyboard. Now I know that GregTech is a lot of mining because of all the microcrafting. There is a fair bit of mining involved. I mean, a lot of it you can, like the ore processing really eliminates the need to go mining very often. Alright, let me make sure my processing line is set up correctly here. So actually, right now I think I do have it being... I'm going through a washer. Am I going through the sifter too? You know what? Maybe it's not so bad to let it sift. Huh. Yeah, you know what? I'll just leave it. Why fix what isn't broken? I came here to my space station to check on the process of, the processing of the ore, make sure I didn't have to add it to any filters. But turns out I had already scheduled Vintium ore when it comes through to go through washers and sifters. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The reason that I think I sifted it earlier was because I did need some flawless or exquisite. But at this point, I'll just let it keep doing what it's doing. So that's Vintium dust taken care of. Now we can combine that into primal mana. So another chemical reactor. This is a very slow recipe. I think I processed tantalum for one of its byproducts. I don't even know which one. Tantalum. Probably niobium, if I had to guess. I think it itself tantalite can be processed. Something can be processed into zinc here. I don't know. But for this, it was probably niobium that I processed. It for. Alright, so this is chemical reactor deuterium, Vintium mana. I guess let's just use another IV chemical reactor. Or I don't have a IV chemical reactor recipe. Now that I'm generating infinite power, I just go grab IV machines for everything. Why not LUV? LUV machines take a long time to craft because they hit up the assembly line a bunch of times. Like all the motors and stuff have to be made on the assembly line. I can't make UV machines yet because I don't have... Well, my Neutronium is not processing yet. Am I enjoying this pack more than Project Ozone 3? Yeah. I liked the mid-game of Project Ozone 3, But this pack has more than just a good mid game. So, you know, there's that. All right. So fluid is Neutronium. Apparently I don't have a bucket of that either. Deuterium is in one of these tanks. This one, right? Yeah. Alright, some acceleration cards. Right now I'm making Primal Mana because it is part of the Red Matter toolchain. And then Mana Dust Vintium. Do I... I just use a conduit here, I guess. That works. Apparently this is the first time I had Mana Dust in my inventory since I unlocked that quest. And the other item was Vintium Dust. Go. With this last chemical reactor here, we are now 100% passively creating Primal Mana. It uses a tiny bit of Vintium Dust, which means I do have to periodically throw like a stack of ore through processing. But remember, one stack of ore produces about 50 million stacks of dust, right? So in all likelihood, I'll never, you know, I'll finish a pack before the ore I'm processing now is before we consume all the Vintium that comes off that. All right, so Primal Mana is consumed at 2 buckets per to make dark, or 2 buckets per 4 dark matter. But before we can do that, we have to empower Void Crystals automatically. So this is Void Crystal, which we have plenty of. Our Void Ore Miner makes that 5,000. That's plenty. Mana Pearls, which is that uses more unstable mana. Ugh. Well, there's going to be very high unstable mana demand apparently. And Flawless Coal. So I guess I also have to process some coal through our ore system here. Scale from 1 to 10, how much do I like this pack? It is up there in my top 3 favorite packs, I'd say. So what, you know, numerically, I mean, my numbers probably make very little meaning, have very little meaning to you, but yeah, it's a very good pack. I am washing coal. And am I sifting coal? I am sifting coal. Nice. So eventually, once it's done processing all the Vintium, it will start processing coal. That might take an hour to get around to it. Thank you, Ranio. I'm glad you enjoy my videos. I enjoy making them too. Alright, so then let's set up a system that will automatically craft this. Well, I think on-demand is fine for this. So let's set up a system that will on-demand do terrestrial agglomeration. Oh, does coal not have a dense form? Ah, good eye. That means you are not doing anything. So we'll process you with a hammer, I guess. The way I have my system set up, I can't just put ore through these pulverizers because their byproducts would get stuck in this chest. So what I'll do instead, super valuable coal ore, the most valuable in the world, I will hammer with Fortune 11. But it's pretty easy to hammer when all I have to do is click. Yep, there we go. 3 stacks hammered. Out of 3 stacks, we got this much crushed ore. In fact, I'm going to do a thing. I'm going to cut in line. Let's cut in line a little bit more. Sometimes when I want one thing to process faster than something else, I cut in line. In fact, let's get more sifters too. More sifters? What's 8 more sifters? Craft faster. Alright, well we got probably about a minute of crafting in front of us. Yeah, here you can see I'm still using tools for a lot of crafting, just because I could never be bothered to put these recipes into assemblers. My turbines are all using the highest tier, UV or max tier rotor holders. We're almost done crafting. My cable covering machine is very slow, apparently. I think this is still like an HV assembler. How much TPS do I get? 20. Just barely. I mean, I'm 80% of my TPS is in use. Overall, I will say I am reasonably TPS cautious. What cable is this? Indarium? Where's my floating device? Processing both coal and Vintium through the sifters is going to take a little while, so I added 8 more sifters. Turns out when you have lots of energy, you can just add more machines, and no one can tell you otherwise. Technically, though, I don't have the energy over here. I don't have a way of wirelessly transferring GregTech energy, so if I need more energy here, I have to either add more diesel engines, or maybe I can wirelessly pipe some of that plasma and put like a single plasma turbine here. That's probably easier than adding like a bunch of diesel engines, right? Each plasma turbine is like 8 diesel engines in one. Let's cut in line again, though. I don't think any of these are processing coal yet. I never use the green channel because on fluid conduits, here, let me show you. On fluid conduits, when you place them, I guess I need a machine that accepts fluids. When you place them, they default to insert on green. So if anything is extracting on green, it'll insert it into the machine you just connected your conduit to. So that's really annoying. And as a result of that, I never use green on fluid. It's less bad on item conduits because item conduits don't default to insert; they default to just extract. But because I never use them on fluid conduits, I just never use them on energy or on item conduits either. And I know there's ways I can transfer Crytek energy wirelessly. I just don't have them. Like I don't have a whatchamacallit flux network, and I don't have, well, the Spectre energy can transfer it, but then like my Spectre network throughput is extremely low, so I just don't bother. It's easier to transfer fuel than it is to transfer energy. All right, so I'm still at automating this thing. So the trick here is that I want to send it one set of items, drop the items, and not send it more items until... Right, I want to give it items so that it can drop 3 items at a time, but not let it drop additional items until it's done crafting from the previous recipe. So... With my mana production as high as it is, I think we can. It's probably safe to assume that the craft will be done within X time units. So let's start with an interface. The interface will provide items. So let's name this. Terrestrial agglomeration. Actually, I'm only really doing a single recipe with this, aren't I? Let's get an impulse hopper. Can I make an impulse hopper? Apparently I can. You know what? I'm done crafting. Applied Energistics. Make me an impulse hopper, would you? Come on, I just taught you how to do this. Oh, don't tell me you don't know how to make iron nuggets. So needy, Applied Energistics. Let's try that again. Well, that's not where I wanted you, but I suppose I will accept this positioning. Alright, so you will auto output to our impulse hopper, which I need a capacitor in. Give me a good one. Yeah, no compacting drawers in this pack, so womp womp. I want output locked. I want a coil to power you. 1000 RF a tick is way more than sufficient. And what's the recipe for powered void crystals? Void crystal, flawless coal, mana pearl. Mana pearl. Don't have a lot of these. In fact, let's encode this recipe while we're at it. Alright, and then you need to be active with signal, and I need a timer to pulse you. How often? Maybe one every 5 seconds? We'll start there. These channels, this wire is actual channels, so I can connect directly to it. Oh shoot, the timer's pulse length is probably not long enough. I probably need a pulse length extender here. Because for some reason, the impulse hopper does not have a one set of items per pulse mode built into it. For reasons I will never understand. Like, isn't that exactly what you use an impulse hopper for? To feed specific sets of items? That is not where I want that lever. I actually don't know how long the pulse needs to be to work. Let's set it low and we'll find out as we go. Good night, chicken. For the actual task of crafting empowered void crystals, the terrestrial amalgamation plate requires that you drop exactly these 3 items onto it and not drop more items until it's done crafting. So I set up a system that it doesn't actually know whether or not the crafting's done. It uses a timer to do some dead reckoning. But when I request the items, they should come out of our ME interface into this impulse hopper, which every time it's pulsed, I want it to send through one set of items, which will be dropped, and then the final product will be collected into this vacuum chest to free up the plate. Alright, let's try it out, I guess. There's one thing here that I'm not sure if it'll work yet, and that is the length of the pulse needed to operate the impulse hopper. In fact, what we just saw there is that my pulse length is too short. The impulse hopper, for some reason I will never understand, does not have a run once per pulse mode. So you need to give it a pulse that is long enough for it to send one set of items, but short enough that it does not try to send multiple sets of items. Now what the heck is this? Why is it not dropping the coal? Excuse me? Impulse hopper? 1 second. Excuse me, impulse hopper, why are you holding on to your coal? Translocators? Is it a translocator weirdness? Let's try it with item conduits. I have item conduits on me. I always have item conduits on me. Yeah, okay. Ah, that was, whoa. Well, no, hold on 1 second. But the problem I had before was that the translocator for some reason, did not want to extract flawless coal. So whatever, I switched it out to a item conduit, and it works now. The timing, I guess, was off. So I gave it 5 seconds. It clearly takes more than 5 seconds to craft. So, I don't know, let's double it, I guess. 10 seconds. So this number is a number of ticks. Anyways, put this in here, turn it back on, and let it run, just to make sure it works. So every 10 seconds, it should tick once, allowing one set of items through. There we go. Those get dropped, crafted together, sucked back into the vacuum chest, and a couple seconds later, the next set of 3 items should come. Perfect. Maybe I can squeeze a little bit of time here, or a little bit more time, a little bit less time into the timer, but honestly, this is fast enough. And there it goes with the next one. All right, so with this, we can demand craft empowered void crystal. Well, we could almost do that. I just have to feed the items back into the interface. But that's easy. You know, if it wasn't such a waste of time, 420 would be reasonable. But that's twice as long, at least, as what it takes. All right. So that demand crafts empowered void crystal. Next up is making void metal. So that's void seeds. That's a hellfire forge. All right. How do I do this? Oh boy. Can you automate a hellfire forge? I guess you can automate a hellfire forge. Huh. What's my best Tartartic gem? Common? Is that good enough? Minimum 500. You hold more than 500, right? It's not a cat, it's a squid. There may have been a cat earlier. Okay, yeah, you hold well north of 500. So if I just put items into you, can I... Does that work? Let's try it. What's in this chest? Oh, there's a Tartartic gem in that chest. How convenient. Yeah, these might be sided, maybe? Well, let's find out. Thaumium, black quartz, wither ash, phytium. Can't autocraft blocks? Fine. Phytium vis crystal. Is there a good phytium source? Netherward, I guess? Netherward has 2 and 6. Well, that'll have to do. Alright. Let's, just for trial. Yeah, I guess that does work. Wait. Oh! I'm allowed to extract all the slots, including the gem slot. Huh. Okay. So if I put Tartartic gem in there, will you not extract it? Hey! Sweet. And I assume this side is also not terrible. Okay. What I can do is just directly put an ME interface up against it. Let's name our interface. Yeah, that whitelist that I was setting was just for a test. Hellfire Forge. And then channels. With both primal mana and empowered void crystals taken care of, the next step is to use dark matter to make red matter. That requires void metal, a lot more life essence, and I guess just void metal. So void metal first has to be made from void seeds. I think the mobs that drop it have been disabled in this pack, so we can't just farm it off mobs. So we have to make it in a Hellfire Forge. I did some testing, and all the slots in a Hellfire Forge are import and exportable. So I just, if we get a recipe that says these items for void seeds, stuff them into our Hellfire Forge, it should craft it, and then I just have the extract set to only extract regular void seeds from it. As for filling the Tartaric gem, I specifically built it, let's show chunk borders, within this chunk here, because this chunk has automated regular will generation, demonic will, and the Tartaric gem can just yoink will out of the chunk for its own crafting. So let's go and code the recipe and give this a shot. I can put a sound dampener there to make the animals a little bit, well, it won't make them less sad. It'll make us less sad that we have to hear them. There, one sound muffler. Hey, stop crying, animals. You're making my viewers sad. Oh, my whole base is still lit up with candles. I never switched over to using torches. In fact, I think, yeah, at some point I switched over to not lighting up the base. Like there's literally no lighting here, but everything else is torches. I still have a couple of those quest reward iron candles that are really annoying here because you run into them when you walk into them. It's like, why does my candle have a hitbox? Please. But I'm too lazy to even take those down. The recipe is here. Let's give it a shot. Void seed. I have 2, so if I order 1 more, the craft makes 4 at a time. So it goes into here. Ah, we're working. It crafts, and then our Tartaric gem automatically refills, and the product automatically gets extracted. Wonderful. How much have I recorded for today? We have 18 minutes, so about half an episode. in an hour and a half. That's about the typical rate. Alrighty, so that's void seed. Now we have to turn the void seed actually into void metal. That's easy. Where do I put this blast furnace? It is HV and takes 75 seconds at HV. So if I do it at, what line is this? This is EV? Take like 30 seconds each? That's probably faster than the fusion reactor downstream of it is going to run, so let's do that. Actually, what temperature is it to? Is it lower than? Yeah, it's cold. So give me tungsten steel coils. If you had ingredients in the forge but less in the min, will the gem... It'll still put the items in there. It'll just wait for the gem to fill up before it crafts more. Hey, blast furnaces, can you hurry up? I guess I'll build everything. I'll grab everything else while I wait. Don't need a fluid output. Need an item output, an item input, a item output, and some heat proofs. Do I need my ring? Probably don't need my magnet very much. So the reason I haven't made the magnet disabling flowers, this is going to sound exceptionally lazy, is that I have to use plant balls on sand to do them, and I don't have a sand platform nearby. I'm almost embarrassed to say that. That is the extent of my laziness right now. I made a sand generator, but I need a sand platform, you see. Which is going to require me to place blocks. It's one of those things that'll take 5 minutes, and I just can't be bothered to spend 5 minutes on it. Alright, this I may as well just make on demand. Actually, if I make it on demand, then... Do I have the liquid nightmare? There we go, liquid nightmares. Then I may as well make it run faster. So let's put the second energy input hatch in. That is not an energy cable. How is this wired up? Yeah, this will work. Oopsies. I'll fix that later. Extract blue, because all my outputs are on blue and they go into an interface eventually. And This needs to be an interface holding the recipe. One weird thing in this pack, if you lag apparently. If you rename your interfaces, you can't here, I'll even show you for some reason. You can't rename your interfaces and then turn them into skinny interfaces. No idea why. Every other pack I swear you could. So you have a regular interface, right? You can turn it into a skinny interface by crafting it. But once you rename it, you can no longer turn it into a skinny interface. Womp womp. Though if you place it and then break it, it loses its name and you can once again turn it into a skinny interface. For turning the void seeds into actual void metal ingots, I'm going to violate one of my cardinal rules, and that is don't do blast furnace recipes on demand. The reason I'm doing this as a on-demand blast furnace recipe is because you have to, well, the way I have my void seeds set up is that they are crafted on demand, so you have to specifically ask the ME system to make them. And then anything that consumes a void seed or anything that consumes void metal will also be on demand. So it's like kind of in the middle of an on-demand sandwich. So there's very little to gain by automatically turning void seeds into void ingots passively. Basically, you will never end up with void seeds just hanging around waiting. So these 6 I have here, I may as well turn them into void ingots. Now, they also use destructive will crystal, which apparently my ME system doesn't have. I think I just never actually hooked up these... Yeah, I never actually just hooked up these crates to a storage bus. So let's get 5 storage buses for these 5 barrels. Yeah, I did a dirty thing, and it hurts me a little bit. I don't know why I'm only making 5. I'm going to use 1 billion of them. Here, for now, it's only that one I needed, right? I'm contemplating if it's worth the effort to put the storage bus on the bottom of the barrel so I can see the front face of the barrel. Too much work, not worth. Technically, that's the only one I need to hook up, so... Let's see, void metal. Okay, we'll start those. I would craft more, but I don't think... Yeah, I haven't taught it how to make black quartz yet. There's a couple other things I have to teach it, huh? Here, let's do them all at once. So, black quartz blocks are easy. I think this just pulverizes into 2, right? Oh, it pulverizes into 2 dust. Wait a second, how do I get black quartz? I have to... Oh. Space egg? Oh, let's make a space chicken. What else does it make? Star metal dust? That's useless. That is easily the hardest way of making skystone available in this pack. Alright, we'll make a space chicken. But not quite yet. Requesting any more void metal now, though, I think reveals that I have a couple deficiencies left in my system. First of all, I don't know how to make black quartz blocks. That's very simple. I just have to turn black quartz into blocks. But if I request a couple hundred, I also don't have Vidium bisque crystals. So let's get recipes for both of those in. Black quartz blocks are... No, it's not a block. Block of black quartz. Yeah, it takes a compressor and 4 pieces of black quartz. Now, as for the piece of the black quartz, I could process my black quartz ore into it, or we could make another chicken. And it's been a long time since we've tortured a chicken, so I think it's time to torture the space chicken. The space chicken lays space eggs. Ooh, fancy. Which can be autoclaved into black quartz. Alright, let's put this recipe away first. Oh, auto slots on my compressor. Now I need 10 buckets of mana, smart chicken, skystone dust, stellar alloy, and infinity. There. That'll make the dust. Reagent. Sorry, chicken, your time has come. Stellar alloy. And 10 buckets of primal mana. Do I have? Yes, I have some here. What holds 10 buckets? You hold 16, right? It's close enough. Alright. Which mixer is not in use and does not have fluids in you? I'm sorry, poor chicken. You deserve better than to be mixed together with... I mean, this isn't too bad. Maybe you're not that unlucky. This chicken is definitely luckier than the average chicken we've turned into a strange and obnoxious type of chicken, so consider yourself fortunate. Space chicken. It's a quest reward. I guess there's no quest reward. Who wants to breed with the space chicken? Lucky you. Oh, true. You usually have to grab an egg for the reward. Alright, well, thankfully the time in a bottle makes this process not painful. I AFK'd for a while, so I have 71 hours of my time in a bottle now. Failed the roll. Let's see how many times we fail in a row. Two in a row. It's a 50-50, so that's we've lost two 50-50s. Three in a row. Does the number of smart chickens actually matter? I tested it and I thought it didn't. It's the size of the smaller stack that matters. Yeah, it's the size of the smaller stack that affects breeding speed, not the bigger stack. It picks the smaller stack and the lower statted chicken to determine breeding speed. That's 3 failures in a row, by the way. My record is 5, so let's see if we can beat 5. 4? I'm gonna look at the lights. It's really dark in my room right now. I'll be right back. Oh, didn't beat my record. Only 4. Alright, fine. Now we gotta make them get good stats. Once the stats get above like 111, the process gets a whole lot faster. Sorry, Trikin. Into the trash can you go. Alright, now we're at perfect stats. It gets real quick here. Breeding like rabbits. Alright, stack of space chickens. I need a roost. Autoclave. What tier are you? Eevee? How long does this recipe take? Recall it was a while, right? It's a 24. Sure, Eevee will do. Let's make it IV, whatever. I'm making everything else IV today. Are there two autoclave recipes? Are they different? Yeah, I like the color of IV machines, so they get an inherent advantage. Apparently I never put a fluid storage bus on this one here. So, there we go. Now we can see primal mana on our ME system. If I can find a cable. Here. All these different cable tiers in my inventory is a real disaster. Where are my cable anchors? Did I put them away? I'd like to not connect these cables to each other. I don't think it really matters, but I don't know. It's nicer looking that way to me. Am I done with endgame power? I suspect I will not have to upgrade power again this pack, correct? Do I have mana? Mana is one of the things or not mana, starlight is one of the things I usually keep a reservoir of. Apparently not now. That's not mana, that's starlight. I like the look of candles. I don't know. Candles look better than torches to me. Maybe I'm weird like that. A quick trip through the chicken breeder to get them up to 10-10-10 stats, and we put them to work. So they lay their eggs, which get turned into black quartz, which we store a cache of. This holds something like 80,000 items, right? I cannot imagine a world in which 80,000 black quartz is insufficient. So, put a storage bus on it, and we have an infinite supply of black quartz for all practical intents and purposes. You cannot directly make a cache void, but you can use an item conduit to just throw away excess items. So, like what I do here with my where is it? Here with my centrifuge processing primal eggs, right? I just throw the excess away so that we can keep making fluid, and the trash can just has a lower priority on the item conduit. All right, so the other thing we have to do is Vitium. Apparently I had 60 of them in here from earlier. Making the Vintium Fizz crystals is as simple as throwing quartz sliver into something that contains at least 2 pieces of Vintium. You could do this in a crucible, or if you like to not make a huge mess, you can do it in a thaumatorium here. So I have 130 some Vintium in my ME system. If we need more, Netherwort contains a fair bit of it. So I'll melt another couple stacks of Netherwort. And for now, probably through the end of the pack, whenever I need... What happened here? Whenever I need aspects, I will just melt something for it manually. So there we go. I guess I don't have automatic fuel supply to my Essentia Smeltery yet. Whatever. I'm all Essentia Smelteried out after playing Celestial Journey. Anyways, this turns each quartz sliver into a Vis crystal, and each Vis crystal makes 4 void metal. So if it says I'm missing any, I'll just make them by hand. It's a little difficult to automate the creation of a bunch of different types of crystals because the same input turns into 30,000 different pages of possible output, and you have to choose which one you get. So with that, let's test. With all that set up, then I think we should be able to request a whole bunch of void metal ingots if needed. Yep. In fact, I will actually craft these, have it get started. It'll take it a relatively long time. Again, the blast furnace step is not particularly fast, but it's there. Anyways, with void metal ingots made, then I think we're ready to set up a blast furnace to make red matter. Let's set up our blast furnace to make dark matter first, though. So that's going to take 2 blast furnaces, and I think... Is there a high temperature requirement? No, but it has to at least be IV. So let's set them both up at IV. Let's do them both at whatever this tier is, LUV, just because I think I have no blast furnaces on an IV line right now, so we get to save coils by sharing sides. There are max tier energy inputs, but at least in Omnifactory, they crash your game if you use them. I haven't tested since then. Like, you could make a max tier blast furnace by just using a max tier energy input hatch, but then, yeah, at least in the past, it crashed your game. Thanks for the super chat, Luke. What are my favorite mod packs? Omnifactory, this one, so Interactions. Probably I'd say Infinity Evolved. It's a strange third choice, I know, because it's a very old pack. But it was, I really, really like Infinity Evolved. Going above temperature has no bonuses, no. And Infinity Evolved's Skyblock version was also extremely good. I swear, there will come a day when I play Infinity Evolved Skyblock on stream. I guarantee it. As for when that day is, I don't know, because there's also a billion other packs I want to play on stream. But Infinity Evolved will be played. I'll make one more coil. Superconductors can take a little while to craft. Also, why are these still scheduled? Why are they not done? Oh, haha, I put my input bus where my input hatch goes, and I put my input hatch where my input bus goes. You do have to get those not backwards for your blast furnace to work. There we go. Now you are running. Whoopsies. Alright, back to these. Let's pre-craft the coils for the next couple blast furnaces too. Both of these recipes take fluids, right? Void metal, fluid, yes. Or no, we're doing dark and red matter. Dark matter, yes. Red matter, yes. Alright, so I need 2 fluid inputs. And 2 fluid export buses. 2 input buses and 2 output buses. Skystone plate? You don't know how to make skystone plates? How do you make skystone plate? Apparently you cut a block of skystone. If you cut applied energistic skystone, it takes a lot less time. Do I have this type of skystone? Yeah. Alright, let's make 10 more interfaces again. There we go. Now it's not yelling at me. So I'm gonna, once again, make on-demand blast furnaces. You can sue me later. These will actually be pretty quick though. These recipes don't take too long. And I'm overclocking them. They're, yeah. They'll be like, they'll be like 25 seconds each. There's definitely a part of me that wants to, like, while I was building this fusion reactor, that wanted to make as much of it out of, or like input and output buses as possible, because these fusion machine casings were taking literally forever to craft. And I was like, I want to be done already. What's this other type of mana I need now? Primal mana. Don't have a bucket of that. Hey, you, give me a bucket of your mana. Oh, did I? That was indeed life essence. Hey, stop that. Good eye, folks. Let's get our plunger to clear out the input bus. Go. Go. There we go. And to encode the recipes, and then I'll record another clip. Dark matter goes in the dark matter one. Red matter goes in the red matter one. That should do it. All right. 2 more EBFs for 2 more recipes. Like before, these are on-demand blast furnaces, so hurts a little bit, but at least this time they're LUV tier, so they should run extremely fast. Let's give it a try. If I request red matter, it should process through both of them. So, yep, it has to craft dark matter, and then it crafts red matter. Go. The dark matter one turns on, and yeah, it's, while it is on demand, this is about as fast as blast furnaces ever get. Right now they're LUV. I guess I could slip a second LUV input bus on and make it a ZPM tier blast furnace. But why has the crafting stopped? It thinks it's crafting red matter, but it's not. Inputs are in the input bus, but there's no life essence in the fluid hatch. Probably on account of the fact that we are trying to consume about 1,000 times more life essence than we're producing. Alright, so I guess I've put it all off long enough. It's time to improve our blood altar. acceleration runes are far higher impact than displacement runes, so let's start with those. But displacement runes are useful too. Both of these have to be made in a Botania runic altar. I really hope I have a Ferganum gem left. I think I saved exactly one for this purpose. Aha! Past Jimmy, you're brilliant. Oh, I saved 2. Well, apparently a quest for this has been added as well. Oh, you can get 1 more. Actually, if I do need 2 more. I kind of cannibalize my mana pylons to make my mana enchanter. But whatever. 2 pieces of skystone, 2 crystallized mineral, 2 plagiaristic skystone. Yep. 2 mineral, a mana pool, and 2 glitch ingots. Upgrading our altar with either acceleration or displacement runes is going to require crafting of the Botania runic altar first. So the runic altar is a rather simple infusion. None of the ingredients here are hard to get. Past Jimmy saved 1 Fengarum gem. Well, he saved 2 Fengarum gems, but we took 1 of them. So let's set up our altar and do the craft. Unfortunately, this is 7 items, so you cannot align, it's impossible to place 7 items symmetrically on your altar, but we'll do the best we can. It is a dangerous infusion as well, so there's a chance that we get infusion artifacts. Oopsies, why is it? Oh, the mana pool goes in the middle, not the gem. There we go. Go. All right. Well, it says very stable, so hopefully it doesn't break. But even if we get instability events, these stabilizers will just eat it faster. Aha, we're in business. Alright, so there is a Botania runic altar. What do you reward? Anything useful? Nope. Screw it, whatever. Quest rewards at this point aren't terribly useful. Alright, where to put you? I probably no longer need to leave this up. I will generate no more mana using my my Dandelion. In fact, can I turn this off? This turns that off, right? Alright, I guess I'll place you here. Now here's a big question. Is it worth taking the effort to automate this thing? And I'm thinking no. Because all I ever use it for is crafting like a half dozen different runic altar recipes. I've automated this thing like in every series I've played though. And I don't have a clever way to do it. Like if I had a clever, unique way that wasn't just like you read the redstone. Okay, let's see how much I've recorded today. It'll take about 10 minutes. 25 minutes? Alright. I guess let's automate it and then we'll call it a day with that then. Minecarts at SFM. I saw, who was it? I think it was Dyer who automated it with minecarts once. It was a long time ago. But that was pretty cool. I mean, he basically used minecarts the same way that I used the builder. that is one of my favorite builds I've seen. His minecart based automation for a runic altar. Honestly, I think I've automated a runic altar enough times. For now, I'll just handcraft with it. I'll still have the ME system automatically supply me with materials, of course. All right, which one? So let's start with displacement. And I'll even include the living rock. Yeah, I'll even include the living rock. Water reagent. How do I make that? Encode this recipe. Can I fill water buckets easily? I cannot. Well, that's obnoxious. I guess I'll set up a tank for that. Just for this playthrough, because the runic altar isn't actually used in a lot of recipes, like all these Botania runes are basically unused. I'm not going to fully automate the altar. If you're interested in the way the altar automates, go ahead and look up what I built in the Celestial Journey video. And I think that is a very clean way to automate the altar. So, whoopsies, I don't want to put that in there. So for now, I'll just craft on the altar by hand. I'll still have the ME system provide items to my altar, so I'll put the recipe here. The items will go in here, and then I'll just manually put them onto the altar and do the crafting. All right, now starting with the displacement rune, I'm going to need some ingredients here. The blank rune and slates we can already make. However, the water reagent is apparently non-trivial. I need to make that in the Hellfire Forge. We set up Hellfire Forge automation today, which is good. So now all I need is just a way to automatically fill water buckets. I suspect the buckets are also left behind, so we have to add those to the filters as well. So put that in there, and then the filter we can just add water reagent and a empty bucket. Finding an empty bucket in this list is apparently a non-trivial operation. I'll just grab one from my storage to put on the filter. All right, next up we need a way of automatically filling water buckets. Where do I put it? It can literally go anywhere. It will go right here. Why here? Don't ask me. It's not that filling water buckets is a difficult task. It's that it takes like 2 minutes to set it up, and I'm, once again, exceptionally lazy. Where'd my cobble go? There's a million and a half different ways to fill water bottles, but what I'm going to do, or water buckets, is just use an Ender IO tank. There's a aqueous accumulator down there keeping it topped up, and you supply it with empty buckets, and it makes water buckets. Wow, such automation. Just to test it out real quick. Oh, you put buckets in the top slot, and it makes water buckets in the bottom slot. All right, with that, then I think we can request these which one? Displacement? I meant to start with acceleration, but I guess I encoded the recipe for displacement, so we're doing that first now. Let's make 8. No reinforced slates. Whoops, those I still have to craft by hand. Indeed, I have no reinforced slates. Like 25, I guess. Thank you, time in a bottle. Even with a time in a bottle, this takes forever. So slow. Although because I have all of these not useless efficiency runes, I can just let it run dry and it's not going to progress backwards. So I'm basically limited by how much blood I can squeeze out of my mob agonizer. Wait, you're done. Stop. Okay, one more thing though. This mechanical user I made is I'm gonna put it to use. Activate block with item mode. That makes it work, right? I think. What's the blue box thing next to my this? This is my mass assembly chamber. It holds all my crafting recipes. It basically replaces the interface and assembler trees. Oh, you mean are you talking about those blue boxes? The blue boxes off in the distance are power. Any reason I haven't made sacrifice runes yet? Yeah, because I literally just made my runic altar. One quick trip through the blood altar with some time in a bottle help. We have reinforced slates to make displacement runes. So go hit craft. They should, at least the materials, let's see. That's still crafting, that's fine. Should show up here. Any minute now. Oh, why is my water reagent not crafting? Let's see. Oh, right, I have to set... this is actually problematic. It'll insert items into the center slot too. And if I just turn on blocking mode, I don't think it'll ever insert items. Because it'll see that there's a Tartaric gem in here and be like, well, blocking mode's enabled, I'm not allowed to insert items. Let's try. So once it extracts these, indeed, it won't insert new items because of the gem. That's unexpected. All right, so how do I work around this? All right, 1 second to think about it. I wonder if I look from the top or bottom, Does it see a different inventory? Good night, storyboard. Blocking mode into a hopper is effectively not blocking mode, though, right? Because then the hopper will just insert the items. It's conceivable that it does not reveal the no, it does. So it does reveal the Tartaric gem in the top. Yeah, I guess I need a system that takes out the gem and puts it back in every, like, second. This is one of the silliest things I've ever had to do. So we're gonna break out the SFM for it, I guess. Nah, it's, why am I using SFM for this? I can literally just use a chest. I'm not sure what possessed me to think that was a good idea, even for a quarter second. What type of Tartaric gem do I have? Common? Filter apparently has stuff on it. So insert on brown, extract on blue, insert on blue, and we'll use a timer to tick it. We probably actually need a pulse extender. $10? 10 seconds is more than enough to do the actual craft, right? Oh, but then it puts it in this slot? Are you kidding me? Hold on. Really? You're not going to put the gem in the gem slot? Is there, like... I wish I could put like a Greg Tech filter on this so I could tell it to... Well, but even then it wouldn't... No, even that wouldn't work. Can you lock these slots? No, it doesn't look like it. If I inserted the side and not the top... This was not what I expected to give me problems. Nope, the sides are treated the same. The thing is, you can't... I can never take it out, because if I ever take it out, I cannot put it back in the right slot. It doesn't matter what side I inserted it, right? The Hellfire Forge chooses what slot it goes in, and it apparently wants to put it in this slot. So what I have to do is... I think I have a plan. If I take this recipe and I add a filler item to it, right, I add a regular bucket in as a filler item, that'll make it take up all 4 slots. So let's put this. I can leave that. Alright, so now if I request another water reagent, it'll... Oh, right, it still doesn't put items in because I'm on blocking mode. So if I extract this, the filler item got extracted already, though. Okay, what if I just don't use blocking mode then? If I don't use blocking mode, if I request 1, it'll work. In fact, it might, right? Yeah, if I request 1, it'll work. Also, why are you still blinking? I thought I turned you off. But if I request 2, it jams the extra item in here? No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Because it's willing to jam out a partial recipe at a time. If I insert the top, will it refuse to insert into the middle slot? Alright, let's try that. So I need 5 different items. Doesn't matter what item. I guess I have 5 different items in my inventory. Nope, it's still happy to insert into the middle slot. I could set... I could put it into a buffer chest. So what has to happen? No matter what we're doing, I think we've concluded that I cannot take this out, because if I take it out, I cannot guarantee it goes back in the right slot. Or can I? If 4 slots are filled, and I take this out, what slot does it go in? It goes in the right slot, so I can. I just need to sync the timing such that it takes the, or after the, there's some weird timing that has to work. It has to be after the ME system puts in all 4 inputs. I'm allowed to... No, but the ME system won't put in inputs until... The ME system won't put in inputs until the gem is here. Or until the gem is gone. Right, so there'll be no gem. I needed to put in its items because it's on blocking mode. After it puts in the items, then I can put the gem back in because it will go into this slot. When the craft is done, it will wait. The ME system won't put in new items, right? There'll be 1 ingredient here. I'm not even allowed to insert in that slot by hand, but apparently item conduits are. Or am I just overthinking this? Why don't I just request 1 at a time? And if it gets jammed, so be it. How many other things actually, like... I'm going to spend 10 minutes solving a problem that I can handcraft for 3 minutes and fix. Limited item filters would work if I use 1 Hellfire Forge per recipe. Which I guess is not like the worst thing. I can just make another Hellfire Forge. That's a slab. Give me a chisel. Yeah, let's just do one recipe per Hellfire Forge. The tricky thing is I have to fit this Hellfire Forge in this chunk as well. Alright, so a Hellfire Forge. You can just get a tiny little Tartaric gem. I'll need a new ME interface. What is this called? Displacement rune, I guess? Now there's still one more thing I have to solve though, because I have to insert 2 of the same item. That doesn't stack. I need to rename one of them. Right, let's try it without that first. I will almost 100% play Omnifactory Omega mode, correct? What are our inputs? 2 water bottles and a sugar. Or 2 water buckets and a sugar. Yeah, because the thing about limited item filters, unless this has changed, is that even if I put 2 waters there, it won't actually withdraw both waters. Even if I turn on extract. So I need one of the waters to be different. How does the name mold work? This is how you make the name mold, right? How do you use it? Let's try it. So I assume I have to name the mold. And it probably goes in a... Does it go in a forming press? My instinct was to say an extruder. Definitely not an extruder. Let's try a forming press, I guess. I've never made a forming press. Well, form repress, show me what you've got. My goal is to rename the item. This seems uneager to do so. I don't think this way of naming items works. Let's see, so this can rename items, but it does it manually. I would use the applied energistics one, but that appears to be disabled. Well, the applied energistics inscribers in general are disabled. We can try an alloy smelter. If I can find one. Which of you? Come on, alloy smelter. I know I have one. Here's one. No go. Maybe this is telling me I'm approaching the problem wrong. When in doubt, break out the programming mod. I want if Are you really going to make me find an empty bucket in this list? It better be at the bottom of the list. Screw it. All right, if you have either of these items, if you have neither of these items, input from the chest, everything. And output you to there. That's literally all I need to do, right? Set you to blocking mode. And get a couple item conduits. Wait. That filter white. No, okay, whitelist is fine. Right, so what it'll do is, right, can't open a chest if I replace it with a Wooden crate. Really? You're gonna make me go through these crafting steps for a wooden crate? Alright, Greg Tech. You do you. Alright, so now if I order water reagent, they all get dumped in here. Everything gets put into here. Why is it getting extracted? Extract on blue. Oh, wait. Oh. Yeah. It's getting extracted because I accidentally told it to go in there. Alright, hold on, let's try that again. So, one set of items shows up. I probably don't need the empty bucket. Oh, I should be extracting on brown. That's the problem. The empty bucket will automatically get put away. I do need the Tartaric gem in here. And that crafts. It doesn't put new items in yet, and then it puts new items in. Yes. So to make this actually bug-free, I really need to add empty bucket to the filter. Because right now I have a race condition between extracting the water buckets, or the empty buckets, and putting new items in. Okay, but I think this is the foundation of a solution. So let's come here one more time. Clear this. Clear the water. 1, 2, 3. Hello? OBS said it lost you for a second. But I think we're back. Hey, we back. Alright, cool. Alright, let's run one more test before I record this. So if I order, say, 10 water reagents... Well, no, I know I have this race condition that I have to fix. Alright, someone find me the bucket in this list. Doesn't help that some buckets look like empty buckets when they're not. I do have a bucket in my inventory, but I cannot use a bucket in my inventory to set the filter. There's 962 buckets. This might be easier because anything that looks like there's only like 3 items in vanilla Minecraft that look like buckets. And those are buckets, water buckets, lava buckets, and I guess milk buckets. Oh my god. You're a genius. I did not know the .inv filter. That saved us 20 hours total. Alright. Well, we got hung up on what is probably the easiest part of the process, but now I think we're in business. It crafts, it waits until everything is taken out, and then it crafts again. This turned out to be the 30th hardest problem I've ever solved in Minecraft. And let's get some background onto some of the things I tried but failed. So, for making the water region, right, our problem was that if I just let Applied Energistics do its thing, it would shove all of these items into the Hellfire Forge, not respecting the fact that it shouldn't put the 4th and 5th item in. I don't even know why it puts items in the output slot. Like, I can't put items in the output slot, but apparently it can. Anyways, what that resulted in, though, was that the wrong items were being inserted. Naturally, normally the way you fix that is you just turn on blocking mode. However, turning on blocking mode results in no items ever going in because the Tartaric gem takes a slot and it sees that the gem's in here. It's like, well, you're telling me not to insert items until there's no more items, and there are items, so I guess I'm just going to not insert items. Alright, so then what we had to, effectively, what we have to do is implement something that behaves like blocking mode, but ignores the petty Tartaric gem. Enter Steve's factory, or Super Factory Manager once again. What I have is, coming out of the ME interface, it's feeding into a buffer chest. This modular storage here is just a very large buffer chest with blocking mode. So it puts one set of items in here. Then, what this checks is every second, or whatever this interval is, every second it checks to see, are there items in the Hellfire Forge? So are there any items in the Hellfire Forge? If false, if there are no items in the Hellfire Forge, then take all items from the modular storage and put them into the Hellfire Forge. So effectively, this is blocking mode, ignoring the Tartaric gem, and that lets us craft water reagents without it getting stuck. So it'll put one set of items in here and move them all at once, only when the output here is clear. Aha! Alright, problem solved. Let's go back to our altar, where I think we have some ingredients waiting for us even. Yeah, so let's sort my inventory, grab all this stuff, bit of lag, and apparently I've completed the Living Rock quest. Put it onto the altar. It'll start crafting. I have to blast it with mana. I forgot to get mana spreaders. If I recall, elven spreaders are cheap, right? Hello, elves. Oh, I completed the Living Wood quest now. I need some of your wood. And then you can upgrade elven spreaders to Gaia spreaders. And we can even... Damn. Past Jimmy even crafted extra super lenses. Sometimes past Jimmy just knows when future Jimmy's going to be having a rough time. Linking up the mana spreaders to our altar here, it blasts it with mana. When it's done, we throw a living rock on it, and I have... what mode do you need to be on? Apparently this doesn't work. No, there it is. Use item. That's the mode you were on. That should automatically click with the Wand of the Forest to finish the craft. We just right-click again to start it. You can even throw the living rock on now, I think. But there we go. We are now semi-auto crafting. There's a bit of manual labor involved, but we are at least making runes. Alright, so I'm going to craft these 10 displacement runes, and then following a similar process, I'll craft 19 acceleration runes. Oh, really? The bottom is a slot that ignores the input? Like, it didn't even occur to me to try the bottom, because the bottom of machines is typically for output, right? So I just figured if it didn't work on the sides and the top, why would they treat the bottom as the side you're expected to input from? My mind is blown. Random slot only picks from slots that actually have items. It doesn't matter. Alright, anyways, let's make acceleration runes next. What do I even make crystallized mineral? Compressoring chunks. Or solidifying? What do I make chunks? Ah. Let's just make 64 of these by hand then. I think I have a tank of crystallized mineral somewhere. It's in LV. Here it is. And then I just have to solidify that. Why are you so slow? Why only 10? My ultra is like a tier 5 ultra or something. I don't have a lot of slots. Yeah, I only have 20-ish total slots. And upgrading the ultra, while it is entirely possible, requires doing more things. I'm trying to do as little as I can. Hello? Where's my... How'd you... Whatever. Don't know how you ended up 50 millibuckets short. Nope, demonic slates, rose gold foil. I'm not even gonna bother putting a recipe in for this. I'll just craft these. Partly it's because I'm like out of recipe slots on all these interfaces. No, I don't even know what the altar caps are above this. The tier 5 cap is... I mean, it's not difficult to make. I just have to do it. The altar caps are different in this pack than normal. Jeez, these foils take forever to make. Wow. Alright, give me 4 more. There we go. And demonic slates. Oh boy, making demonic slates is gonna suck. Guess we'll start from blank. Wait, is demonic the tier 4? Yeah, I can make demonic slates. Tier 6 cap is still crystal clusters, yeah. In fact, crystal clusters I can just I can make immediately. This I have to at least make Terra Steel. What color are demonic slates? They're the one I'm approaching, right? Acceleration runes take demonic slates instead of the reinforced slates or whatever the other runes took, and those are the tier tier 4 slates. So at 15,000 LP each, our poor Blood Altar is taking the better part of forever to craft them. This altar is so bad, and I'm so lazy that I'm like, I could just sink a fair amount of time into making a good altar, but I think I don't need to, so I'm struggling with this really bad altar, and it's burning me like back and forth. In an effort to save work, I'm probably causing myself to do significantly more work. But oh well. I think we're at the point where I don't need a good altar anymore. You done yet? Yeah, you're done. Alright. Instead of doing things right, we can just do things time in a bottle. So 1, 1, 1, and 1. And I forgot to include the living stones in the recipe. Can I just throw all 10 living stone on there? Does that work? My inventory's full. Are you blocked? You are not. My other lens. Dang it, out of fire runes. Alright, whatever. To speed up the crafting process here a little bit, I moved the mana spreader right up against the altar. Each mana spreader can only have one mana burst active at a time, so by having it touching the altar effectively, it makes the mana spreader run faster. I would have 3 spreaders doing it, except I kinda sort of ran out of runes of fire to make these dominant spark augments. Which, I guess I can craft them now that I have a runic altar, though. Whatever. I'm just going to craft these displacement runes, and with any luck, we never have to touch Botania or Blood Magic again this pack. I love the mods. I dug myself a hole here, and I'm just digging it deeper every time I become lazy and don't automate things. So, my hole is now sufficiently deep that I don't want to climb out of it. No, this is definitely faster. One with... Here, I can even... Hold on. We're implementing huge brain behavior here. Apparently mana mirrors cannot charge... They're not actually mana tablets. Can you time in a bottle a mana spreader? I don't think that helped. I need an actual mana tablet. Of course, by the time I'm done filling the mana tablet and putting mana in the other mana pool, I'll be done crafting. Consider I only have one left. There, I'm helping. I'm helping. Right, one more. Oh no, I just have to pick them up. I did it. They're all crafted. We have 20 acceleration runes. I only need 19, but they craft 2 at a time, so I had to make 20. Let's put these on first. So, exchanging gadget, exchange those for those, and I mean, however many I have, I want them all on the altar. And then we'll fill in any remaining gaps with displacement runes. Displacement runes. Alright, I think every rune on this altar is a functional rune now. Swap out some of the runes of the orb, because those are probably the least functional of our runes. Now what this means is that with 19 acceleration runes, every tick, the blood altar will be emptied. That is, every tick, blood can be transferred from the altar into its buffer tank. Then with having, how many do I have, like 10-ish displacement runes, those just increase the amount of blood that gets pulled out. So right now I can actually empty all the blood out of the altar basically I can keep the altar empty of blood, which is good. That means that all the blood that I generate I can use in crafting. Because I'm doing that, then I no longer need this system to run. So let's turn all, well, I can no longer afford, rather, to keep this system running, because this drains from my LP network, right? And I'm no longer recharging my LP network because I'm crafting. So, yeah. Anyways, this should give us a lot more blood for crafting, though, which should result in this red matter here being crafted. In fact, it might even be done. In fact, it is done. So let's try ordering, I don't know, 20 more pieces of red matter. And we should see all these machines kick in. First, the dark matter one, and then the red matter. Now, because I turned the demon crystals, demonic will off, I will no longer be producing any more destructive will crystals. However, these are used in the process of making void metal, so I need another way of producing them. I'll just centrifuge vitrified sand for it. This recipe was added in the recent patch, and it is much easier to centrifuge vitrified sand than it is to run that entire set of like six different alter recipes. All right, well, crafting is hard at work now. I can cancel that. And of the 20, I guess one is done. More will craft as blood becomes available. But because we are still, filling in a bunch of, we're still backfilling basically a bunch of things. Like this, no, this one doesn't use blood. But what process here does use blood? This one? Nope, that one's full. Hold on. I know one of these processes here is backfilling with blood, which is causing our blood supply to be still lacking. Ah, here it is. The system for making simple power catalysts is backfilling with life essence. This will basically never stop because I gave it a cache that holds 80,000 items. Let's replace that with a chest that holds, a chest full of items, so that this will eventually stop. Once this thing stops consuming blood, then all the blood will be available to our blast furnace. The actual blood drain from the ore processing is super low, because this uses a tiny bit of like 250 millibuckets of blood for each piece of ore, and it seems to be already processed with it. All right, so that's that. You know what? Let's finish things out and get at least some draconium crafting today. So next up is I have to turn red matter into red matter fluid and red matter fluid into draconium. All right. I almost want to just put a blast furnace right here. Basically, that way I can set a recipe that says 1 piece of red matter plus 1 piece of osmiridium. Actually, okay, hold on. Let's start with the osmiridium because that's easy. So I need a, what tier is this? This is ZPM. Whatever, I'll use a IV fluid reactor. You unfortunately cannot replicate draconium now. Or I would make 1 ingot of it and replicate it. With red matter automated, I'm going to need to empty out this fusion reactor because this is a fusion reactor that will be making our draconium. So let's take the neutronium we've made, turn it into an ingot and into a dust, and then get a replicator working on that as well. Can I? I didn't check, but I expect the answer is no. That's not red matter. You cannot. Here's our first ingot of GregTech Neutronium, which rewards us with, I think, 4 more. Aha! Anyways, into a pulverizer it goes. And we'll replicate the dust. Fluid conduit. it does take a very long time to replicate neutronium dust. But this will just run. I'll probably just leave the one stack in the output slot as our buffer. We can directly smelt it into ingots and turn that into plates or whatever as needed. But oh boy, is it slow. In fact, it's slow enough that I'll change my mind and buffer a whole chest worth. It only uses neutral matter, whatever. So I guess I didn't have to put 64 buckets of positive matter in here, but it's in there now and it's going to stay in there forever. So auto output to there. And the reason I'm not concerned about matter is because I have 30 million millibuckets of each of these matters. These mass fabricators have been turning air into positive and neutral matter for quite a while. All right, that's Neutronium. I'm going to need a transformer to power that fluid extractor. In fact, I think I have to empty out this. Yep. A whole bucket of the Quadra almost. Goodbye. I'm never sure which way you plug these in. Is it possible to accidentally blow up my fluid transformer doing this? I don't think so. Because it starts in transform down mode, right? I think. Aha, no explosion. Could you not? Where does this cable even go? It goes somewhere where I don't have channels available. I have 3. That's suboptimal. 3's enough. I'll fix it. I'll figure out a different routing that gets more channels here later. I need 1 for that. 1 for an interface. How long does melting red matter take? 55 seconds at LUV? But how long does this take? Alright. We're going to put a blast furnace on our our fusion reactor. So it needs a fluid output. What else does it need? An item output to trash and a fluid input and an item input. Alright, so the important one is the output hatch here. Facing each other. I guess we'll go blast furnace, input hatch, input hatch in the back. Wait, no, input hatch is for fluids. Yeah, that's fine. Input bus. Output bus goes to trash. And then the rest we'll put power on top, I guess. So you're full of osmiridium. Make a horribly asymmetrical blast furnace to trigger people with. Here's a ZPM blast furnace because I think this takes at least LUV, and let's overclock it to make it slightly faster. And I need argon fluid. Yep, that is the fluid hatch. Oh, let's rename this interface. So this will be make draconium by inputting red matter. So the recipe is 1 ingot of red matter. Could you not? My aim is really bad. Come on. Real. I got him eventually. The water crafting thing has been automated, yeah. So the recipe here is to make a draconium ingot. Actually, what type of draconium do we even make? We make Greg Tech draconium. To make a draconium ingot, it takes 2 to 1. So to make 2 draconium, it takes 1 red matter. I believe. Let's double check that ratio. Yeah, one red matter makes 2 draconium. That goes in the recipe slot. Not quite done yet. We're almost though. And then the output is I need a fluid solidifier. Let's just get an IV1. Want to leave substitutions on as well. Hello? Thank you. And I guess we'll chisel our useless name mold into something useful. Oh, apparently once I've renamed it, I can no longer chisel it. You lived a good life, name mold. Ingot. And I'll need one more transformer. It appears like our fusion reactor has grown a bit of a zit. So this zit is a blast furnace whose purpose is to turn red matter balls into red matter fluid, and then its output hatch lines up with the input hatch of the blast furnace so that I can have a recipe that says that if I want to make draconium, all I have to do is feed it red matter. So red matter gets fed into this blast furnace, which I overclocked its EPM just to have it melt things a little bit faster. Let's tag it a couple times, let it melt. But once it melts, the fluids go in there, and our fusion reactor starts making draconium. The other product that makes draconium is the osmiridium, and that I just have passively supplied because I have boatloads of osmiridium. So this is creating draconium. Once it outputs to this output hatch, which I guess the reason it's not outputting to the fluid solidifier is that the back of the fluid solidifier is normally the input, or normally the output. There we go. Which goes to here, which makes draconium ingots, and then I just need to route these draconium ingots into an interface somewhere. So let's just run a random piece of item conduit here. We'll go from the side, I guess, so it's a little clean. And get it back into the interface. And with this, we can auto-craft draconium ingots. All we have to do is say, hey, give me draconium, and it'll make it. Now, it'll take its sweet time making it because a lot of the processes involved in this are very slow. But at least it's automated. Is that always active? There we go. And that should complete the crafting task. So there we go, 20 draconium ingots. So let's cancel those. Those are made, cancel those. And now we can just order, I don't know, can I order 500 draconium? No, 500 is too much. 100 draconium at least? Missing mana pearls. 1 second. Look, I would put it somewhere better, but oh yeah, I have an interface right here. Shh. I was gonna say I would give it its own interface or import bus, but I'm out of channels. Anyways, mana pearls require an assembler. I think at this point this episode's running a little long, but let's finish this up and then we'll call it. I still have to edit this video today and upload it. I mean, I have good internet, so uploading is pretty quick, but I don't think I can record another one today. yeah, I hope you guys do enjoy this stream, though. This was very fun. Hello, unstable mana? There we go. Why are you so slow to put unstable mana in here? Do I just not have unstable mana? I guess it's because the mana is not crafted yet. Probably here. Indeed, there's no unstable mana available. Faster. There, more unstable mana being made. Alright, perfect. To fix the problem with not having Eyes of or Mana Pearls, is added another assembler that makes them. Now that we have a lot of unstable mana automation, we can craft these on demand, and I can just stick 64 buckets of this in an assembler without feeling bad. So once again, let's try 100 Draconium. Aha! Very good. Start. And as I've said before, this will take a fair amount of time, but time is what we have. I'll just run it between episodes more or less going forward. We need a lot of this stuff because the ultimate goal is, well, maybe not the ultimate goal, but I guess we'll call it the penultimate goal. Is the Infinity Chicken. And the Infinity Chicken takes 20 blocks of Awakened Draconium, as well as some Infinity blocks, which contain more Awakened Draconium. So, yeah, we're going to need a lot of Draconium. I mean, 20 blocks is only, 180-something ingots. So, in total, this is maybe 300 ingots of Draconium, because most of the other stuff isn't actually made of Draconium. But there's still a bunch of things in here we can't craft. So, let's wrap things up here for today with the slow but automated production of Draconium, and we'll come back next time and continue to work our way towards the Infinity Chicken and beyond. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. Alright, so that was the ending of the YouTube recording. Unless, if you guys have any questions, I guess now I'll, if you have any like base tour type stuff you want to see, now's a great time. I'll take another, 10, 20 minutes to go through this. Thanks for the super chat, Paul. And yeah, this was a very fun stream. I'm glad I did this. I don't think I can do this for every episode because it would drive me insane. But doing this, at least once was definitely worth it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the behind the scenes peek at what goes into this. I messed up some of the local recording, so I'm going to have to rip some parts off the stream VOD to fill in the gaps. So normally editing, I just take all those clips and jam them together and we're done in 15 minutes. Well, and then I have to render it for an hour and a half. But because I messed up a little bit on the hitting my start recording button, I'm going to have to rip some bits off the VOD and piece it together. So this VOD will stay. Is it unlisted? It shouldn't be unlisted. It's public, right? It should say public the whole time. Did I do a brief overview of my power generation? Yeah. So I'll go through where I started to where I ended up now. I started with before that, I started with steam power. So steam power is, I had it off one high pressure steam coal boiler fed with mostly sticks from my transmutation table. So I would just grab a bunch of sticks, throw them in the chest, and one chest of sticks was like a day of fuel. So that was plenty. Then I moved to a single steam turbine powered off 4 boilers, also stick powered. From there, I moved to methane power, although methane power has since been nerfed since I did it, so I don't necessarily recommend this. I think the way recommended in the quest book using the large steam boiler is better, but I did methane power where Menro chicken lays eggs, they get converted into crystals, and that gets turned into methane in the centrifuge, which gets burned. I still recommend building this system, just not strictly for the purpose of power, because a lot of their byproducts are very useful. Sawdust makes paper. These balls, whatever I'm using right now to make that methane, or not methane, what's it called? Unstable mana. But I forget what that intermediate was called. This thing, biomass. Ethanol, there we go. Yeah. And then the other product here, the carbon, I was using it to, carbon is used in various recipes throughout. But at this point, I think I've outgrown the production that this carbon can produce. So I set up another carbon system a couple episodes ago. But anyways, methane power carried me in LV and MV. I just used MV gas turbines. When I got to HV, I switched over to diesel. Initially, I think I did biodiesel. So I made biodiesel with MV power, and then, I produced enough of it that I could use it to directly burn in HV turbines to generate HV power. I've since upgraded these to burning infused nitrodiesel. So that's MV and HV taken care of. Once I got to EV, I upgraded my diesel setup from biodiesel to infused nitrodiesel, and it's oil-based as well. So I have, oil goes through it gets processed with canola eventually to make empowered oil, which I refine in a distillation tower into diesel and naphtha, and then all that eventually gets processed into nitrodiesel and other products. So that nitrodiesel powered our EV. Oh, hold on, no, nitrodiesel powered HV and most of my EV power here, with my pink power tower. As I outgrew that, I very briefly ran on the Quadra power with the Quadra reactors, and then I finally switched it over to running on plasma turbines, which is where we're at now. Why do I not get rid of some of this stuff? Just because it's not useless yet. Like, sure, some of it is, like the power generation, yeah, I could probably get rid of that. But some of these machines are still running. They're still a core part of my base. So, okay, that's not. But my plastic, for example, for circuit boards is, my MV setup is perfectly functional. It still produces way more than enough polyethylene and PVC. So, like, there's no reason to upgrade it above MV, and there's no reason to take it down. Or like here, my clay electrolyzer, it's perfectly fine running off a single MV electrolyzer. So, no reason to upgrade, no reason to downgrade. All right. Any other burning questions before we call things a day? Will you when I get rid of these cobwebs one day? I have gotten rid of most of them already. Right? There's only one left, I think. Unless I missed them. There we go. I think that's all the cobwebs. Next time I get ganked by a spider, though, there may be more. Remove I could. What I really should do is remove the IVs, remove these generators, because these are consuming fuel. But it's like, I don't need that fuel for anything else, so it doesn't matter. How to get started with enchanting? Yeah, you just make an enchanting table. I think the enchanting table uses enchanted book. It uses an enchanted book, so for that, make a flim flam book. It doesn't have a recipe. Well, not in JEI, but it's a book and an emerald. Makes Flim Flam 1, which allows you to make the enchanting table, and you can go from there. So I don't know why this recipe doesn't show up in JEI, but it exists. You can also loot enchanted books off dungeons or whatever to get started. I have not started melting ender chickens yet. I have made antimatter. I have a bucket of antimatter ready to go, but I don't have an ender chicken spawner or any of that yet, so I still have to work on that. Do you think you focused on progression more on magic over... do you think if you focus on progressing more on magic, your overall progression path would change significantly? I don't think so. I mean, the core of the progression is still, go through the Greg Tech power tiers, right? Which I did. As far as equipment goes, I don't even think yeah, the blood magic armor is really good, but I didn't, there's really no difference between all the different good armors. They're all sufficiently good. We can check up on the antimatter crater. I think it's over here somewhere. Here it is. I mean, it doesn't expand on its own, so this is how it looked when we left. Apparently, creepers can just walk through antimatter like it's nothing, though. Does it hurt? It does not hurt. This is not like, what was that mod that added antimatter in Project Ozone 3? Project Ozone 3's antimatter would kill you no matter what armor you had, because it dealt true damage or something. But apparently Animus antimatter is a lot kinder. Yeah, Abyssal Craft antimatter. That stuff hurts. Don't go swimming in it. What happens if you enchant? No, you don't use the Flimflam book to enchant your gear. Flimflam, it's a debuff that goes on enemies when they hit you or something. It's like a bad thorns. But you make it a Flimflam book so that you can use it to make the enchanting table so that you can make regular enchants. I mean, antimatter is not going to destroy your blocks unless you're not careful with it. Like, yeah, if I poured antimatter right over my fusion reactor right now, that would go poorly. So I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to build some type of system that can contain it. One thing I actually kind of want to test is, can the RF Tools shield contain it? But I'm not going to test it here because this is in the middle of my base. I suspect the answer is no, though, but I don't know. Never know if you don't try. Alright, I'll break some blocks around the antimatter crater and let it grow a little bit. It's far enough that I'm not worried about it expanding into my base. I think when you break the solid one, it chain breaks all the others, right? Oh, it's expanding. I thought it stopped expanding over time. Well, eventually... Okay, no, yeah, it does stop. It does stop once it starts sinking. Could I show my test world? My test world is actually just my old single-player world before I converted it over to multiplayer. And I just, test things in there. This is causing a lot of lag. The mobs are not moving very fast. And my tick rate is suffering for it. Eating everything away. I mean, now that I have all this antimatter, what I could probably just do is build a pump here and pump it up. I probably have to use the RF Tools pump because it can pump things without touching it. I might have crashed my game. Nope, just some lag. Down we go. I think eventually this can even eat through bedrock, right? We'll be down at bedrock level pretty soon. I'm pretty sure it does go through bedrock. It just keeps sinking after that. Hi there, parrot. How you doing? Yeah, it just makes a hole in the bedrock. See ya, spiders. But there we have it. Antimatter all the way through to bedrock. Yeah, I can just harvest it when I want it later. The Draconic Dislocator? What about it? I got an advanced one from a quest. I mean, I guess now that I have hearts, I can use it. I need pearls to fuel it. Do I add fuel? But what about the dislocator? I'll set a spot right here. Did the advanced one not do damage to you? Huh. I guess I can reseal my hearts and still use it then. I use a normal dislocator. We'll bind it right here. Wait, this one doesn't even do damage to me either. At least it doesn't make a ding sound. Doesn't drain absorption heart. Did it? Am I crazy? I have 4.5 green hearts, 6 orange hearts. Oh, it does. Yeah, okay. It does take a heart. It just takes it away, I guess. It doesn't deal it to you as damage. Oh, there are crystal socks, aren't there? Yeah, you're right. I forgot these existed. Yeah, I should use them. Good point. I forgot that there was a higher tier sock than A socks. The only reason I'm not using a draconic dislocator is because I already have all my things bound. It's at this point I'm basically in, stay in base mode. I never have to leave, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, you don't have to apologize about that. That was hilarious. It was one of those things. It's one of those things that only packs like Interactions really throws you into. So, no, that was absolutely hilarious. If you're thinking about taking it out, I wouldn't personally, but I mean, if you want to, it's not a bad thing either. All right, I think we might wrap things up for the day here. It was a fun stream, and I guess you guys have already watched the episode, so up to you if you want to watch it again tomorrow. But you can see how much of the content gets cut out. I mean, basically, from a 3-hour stream, right, about 45 minutes of content will make the video. That's about the usual ratio. All right, well, see you. I was hoping to record 2 episodes today so I could play Factorial tomorrow, but I don't think there will be Factorial tomorrow then because I have to record again tomorrow. But yes, I guess it'll be Factorial on Friday then in that case. And obviously see you tomorrow for Interactions. Have a good night, everyone. Take care.